This is Neil's Han Dynasty. Please like, share, and subscribe. Be kind, helpful, and grateful. Buy some silver platinum and some crystallized osmium. And check out crypto and certain stocks after they fall. Should be pretty good stocks after the crash. If you do your research, you should get some good ones. And don't listen to me, as the thing says. Everything we say is to be taken as bullshit. And this is for fun, not for profit or health. Those are disclaimers. Got to run the disclaimers. And let's see. This is more about asteroid mining, because I'm such a lover of asteroid mining. Make sure to like. This is from Wokomo Docs. Not subscribe, but I did hit their like and I did share. So let's see what they have.
Man was a hunter-gatherer then, roaming vast territories. His daily life alternated between periods of scarcity and abundance. With the seasons, he found around him what he needed to survive. His impact on the earth was insignificant.
It is part of him, in his travels, to look at what materials he could use for tool making.
At Spienne in Belgium, Helen Coley and her team are excavating the site of a major human settlement which goes back more than 10,000 years. At that time, everywhere in Europe, populations were settling down.
Spienne is one of the very large centers of flint mining, which came into being during the Neolithic era. Extending across dozens and dozens of hectares, it is believed that 20,000 mining pits had to be dug there, and that it was operated for at least 1,000 years, perhaps 2,000. Settlements certainly led people to have a different relationship to resources. People will have the opportunity to dig mines and truly develop a mining craft, and also to specialize in shaping tools. This corresponds to a boom in the number of flint mines that can be found. Thus, places where, repeatedly for tens, hundreds, or even thousands of years, populations returned to mine flint. Mining work is a plus. During a few months of the year, these populations dig mines, which will therefore give them the flint, with which they will shape axes, which will serve them for trade. Axes made in Spienne traveled at least 150 kilometers.
On the emerging trade routes, flint is soon replaced by metal. A new era begins. The metallurgy craft spreads, and soon mines for metals make their appearance in Europe.
So weave.
Mining is gradually organized around a handful of metals that we have learned to work. At Salsinia, in the heart of the Black Mountains in southern France, copper and iron have been mined since Roman times. Later, Salsinia will become one of the largest gold mines in Europe.
These days, the underground mines are deeper and deeper, mechanized, robotic, air-conditioned. There is no doubt tomorrow we will exploit underwater resources, and then after that, perhaps space.
Philip Bewigs is an engineer. He is a specialist in metals and the author of several books on environmental issues.
It's a weave.
In the 17th, 18th century, there are several advances. First, we will theorize that technological progress makes it possible to make discoveries, and to apply these discoveries to the industrial system and production of items which allow improving the comfort and happiness of humankind. When we have progress of experimental chemistry, which allows discovery of more and more different chemical elements, and the discovery of more abundant energy, fossil fuels, coal, all these elements will enable entering the 19th century using a number of new different metals. We will have zinc, aluminum, nickel,
chrome, lithium, titanium. Beginning with the Industrial Revolution, more than 20 metals are used.
The history of metal
mining intensifies.
And the reason why we're going to have to
these new resources, far from substituting one for the others, accumulate and create new needs.
So we have about 60 different metals. Iron ore is the most used. There is well in excess of 1 billion tons of annual production. Then there are some metals such as precious metals, gold, platinum, which can drop to a few hundred tons per year. And it is therefore this whole range of products that we will actually use for transport, cars, infrastructure, and then all our everyday objects that range from toothpaste or sunscreens to electronic products, which can contain 30 or 40 different metals.
1.4 billion smartphones were sold in 2018. The latest smartphones contains a complex mix of metals, most of which are rare metals. Indium for the touchscreen, cobalt for the battery, iridium for the vibrator. Thanks to these, our smartphones are lighter and lighter, more and more powerful.
Rare metals created the digital revolution, and at the same time, they accelerated it. They both created and followed it.
Guillaume Pitron is a journalist and producer. He travels the world investigating the environmental impacts linked to the mining of rare metals.
You have a multiplication of uses of rare metals which takes place over 70, 80 years, because we can't do without them, given their catalytic, optical, and magnetic properties. We have rare metals in Europe. Basically, these mines, they're very dirty, and so there was a transfer of the production of these rare metals between rich countries, which didn't want the pollution generated by these raw materials, and the poor countries, which were ready to assume the Western costs, provided that they could catch up with their industrial lag. So today, the supply of rare metals to Western states is totally dependent on foreign countries, and more precisely, on China.
This is the history of our use of minerals and metals. And as we discover new sources, we use them up. And it's going through the history of it getting to space mining, if you're wondering. I could speed it up, but it's actually a pretty good history.
What I've seen with my own eyes, these are absolutely colossal environmental disasters. You have near Bautu a gigantic lake of toxic discharges, which is as big as Lake Geneva, and in which all the wastewater from the rare earth refining process is discharged. You have radioactivity. You have cancer villages. You have various cases of disease which are documented and indisputable. So that's the reality of rare metals.
At Salsinia, the reality is managing the consequences of 200 years of intensive exploitation. The mine closed its doors in 2004, leaving the entire region polluted for thousands of years. Here, as in all developed countries, we are trying to build a cleaner world.
Can I sit by?
Now we're moving to a new generation of energy technology, the so-called green technologies, solar panels, wind turbines, electric cars, for which metals are needed. Not just rare metals, but metals in general. We are in a complete headlong rush. We are in a world where we are 7.5 billion. We will be 10 or 11 billion by the end of the century. And these 11 billion individuals will consume more and more digital technology and more green technology. It is necessary to be aware that just for our metals needs, all technologies combined, in the next 35 years, we will consume more than everything we have consumed in metals for 70,000 years.
Pollution, exponential growth, embargoes which threaten to suffocate Western countries, the challenges ahead at the start of the 21st century are enormous.